Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever witnessed a moment so quiet, yet it felt the loudest in your heart? Amid the laughter, birthday wishes, and the camaraderie of the BTS members, there was one small moment that escaped the spotlight, yet was impossible to ignore for anyone paying close attention. That day, Taehyung's birthday live was supposed to be a simple celebration, warm, lively, and full of jokes. Taehyung opened the live with a bright smile, his face radiating happiness as he shared this special moment with those closest to him. One by one, the members joined, RM with his calm presence, Jin with his signature humor, J-Hope with his vibrant energy, and then Jimin and Jungkook. No grand concept, no rigid script, just natural togetherness flowing freely. Yet, as with many BTS moments before, one dynamic once again stole attention unintentionally. Amid the room filled with voices and laughter, Jimin and Jungkook quietly disappeared into their own little world, a silent space that wasn't closed off, but felt incredibly real. Not because they were ignoring the others, but because their closeness was so natural that it required no effort to be noticeable. Their togetherness always carried a unique quality. It wasn't explosive, it didn't seek the spotlight, yet that was precisely what made it so powerful. There was an invisible pull that kept them drawn to each other, even in the middle of the crowd, as if their bodies and hearts instinctively knew how to find one another without conscious thought. Jungkook turned to Jimin. His gaze lingered, long, full, and focused, the look of someone seeking comfort. In his characteristic whiny tone, he softly said, "Too cold." The words were simple. To others, perhaps just a small complaint about the room temperature. But to Jungkook, it was a silent invitation, a subtle request meant for only one person. His voice was gentle, slightly spoiled, and full of dependence. He didn't say it to the camera, nor to the other members. He said it to Jimin, the one who had always been the safest place to vent, lean on, and let down his guard. In that moment, Jungkook was not a global idol with a strong, charismatic image. He was simply Jungkook, the youngest member who knew his feelings would be accepted unconditionally. And as always, Jimin was the answer. No exaggerated reaction, no over-the-top words. His presence alone was enough. He stayed there, calm and steady, allowing Jungkook to approach in his own way. Gradually, Jungkook relaxed, not because the room temperature changed, but because he was near the one person who made him feel safe. Their relationship has always worked like this. Jungkook often arrives with raw emotions, tired, cold, anxious, or simply wanting to be pampered. And Jimin, without judgment or lectures, is always a soft place to land. He doesn't try to control, doesn't demand explanations. He just is. And for Jungkook, that is more than enough. Amid the joy of Taehyung's birthday live, one small but captivating moment stole attention. Jimin and Jungkook, as usual, seemed to exist in their own world. They laughed lightly, joked warmly, yet there was a subtle touch that made every viewer's heart skip a beat. With graceful, attentive movement, Jungkook touched Jimin's chin, and Jimin responded with a meaningful smile, as if their body language spoke louder than words. Their gazes, the brief touch of hands, conveyed an intimacy hard to describe, sweet, natural, and sincere. Every small gesture felt like a secret dialogue, a special language only they understood. Viewers witnessing the moment could almost feel the pulse of their chemistry, where simple jokes transformed into interactions filled with warmth and emotional closeness. This was not merely playful antics or ordinary gestures. It was a glimpse of intimacy that lingered, a subtle message about their closeness, about the comfort and trust shared only by two hearts that truly understood each other. For fans watching, these seconds left a warmth in the chest, as if they were part of that little world full of secrets and affection. A few moments later, Jungkook moved closer. No announcement, no dramatic transition. He simply followed his instinct. Without many words, he hugged Jimin from behind. His arms wrapped tightly, his body pressed close, and his chin slowly rested on Jimin's shoulder. The movement was so natural, as if done 1,000 times before, not for the camera, not for the public, but as an ingrained habit. There was a brief pause before Jungkook fully relaxed. His expression showed a flicker of hesitation, as if he wondered whether he could be that open. But the doubt quickly vanished. Once he realized Jimin did not pull away, did not shift, and did not change his demeanor, Jungkook completely let go. His shoulders dropped, his breathing slowed, and his body seemed to find its place again. The hug lingered. Not a fleeting embrace, but one that settled. With Jimin, Jungkook did not need to be anything. He didn't need to be strong, perfect, or perform. He only needed to exist. This is what makes their relationship feel so deep. Jungkook, seen by the public as energetic and resilient, revealed his most vulnerable side in front of Jimin. And Jimin, often perceived as gentle, became the steadfast presence for Jungkook. There was a balance formed naturally, without assigned roles or spoken agreements. When Taehyung suddenly stood behind them, Jungkook's body tensed briefly. Not because he was uncomfortable with Taehyung, but because the personal space he had created with Jimin was suddenly opened. Yet he did not retreat. He did not release his embrace. After a few seconds, his body relaxed again. He chose to stay. Jungkook remained in that position for almost a full minute. In the world of live streaming, 1 minute is long, too long to be a coincidence, too consistent to be a joke. The hug was not an impulsive moment, but a silent statement of where Jungkook felt safest. Jimin, on the other hand, did very little. He did not respond with big movements, did not seek attention. He simply let Jungkook be there. His body stable, his presence calm, as if silently saying, "You are safe here." Amid Taehyung's birthday celebration, this moment felt like a small fragment of everyday life rarely shown. No grand dialogue, no explicit confession. Yet it was precisely in this simplicity that the truest emotions emerged. Their bond is always built from small things: lingering gazes, distances that always shrink, habits of seeking each other amid the crowd. There is never a need to explain, because for them, closeness is not something to display. It is a part of how they live and support each other. Among the laughter and camaraderie of the members, this moment between Jimin and Jungkook stood alone. Quiet, yet unmistakable. Simple, yet full of emotion. And for anyone truly watching, one thing becomes undeniable. For Jungkook, Jimin is not just a groupmate. He is home. A place to return to. A place to complain. A place to feel safe, even in a world full of attention. To some, this moment might seem small. No confessions. No words of love. No dramatic gestures. Yet therein lies its power. True comfort is never loud. It exists in silence, in routine, in the courage to simply be oneself, even in front of cameras and the world. Jungkook is not seeking attention. Jimin is not trying to soothe with words. They're simply together, and that is enough. Perhaps that is why this moment resonates so deeply. Because what we see is not just two global idols, but two humans who know exactly where to return when the world feels too cold. Thank you for watching Jikook Moments. If you felt the same emotions, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. We will meet again in the next Jikook Moment. A small moment, yet full of meaning.